Chapter 13 of Aristotle's Masterpiece by Pseudo-Aristotle. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Chapter 13. The External and Internal Organs of Generation in Women. If it were not for the public benefit, especially for that of the professors and practitioners of the art of midwifery, I would refrain from treating the secrets of nature, because they may be turned to ridicule by lascivious and lewd people. But as it is absolutely necessary that they should be known for the public good, I will not omit them because some may make a wrong use of them. Those parts which can be seen at the lowest part of the stomach are the fissurae magna, or the great cleft, with its labia, or lips, the mons veneris, or mountain of Venus, and the hair. These together are called the pudenda, or things to be ashamed of, because when they are exposed they cause a woman pudor, or shame. The fissurae magna reaches from the lower part of the os pubis to within an inch of the anus, but it is less and closer in virgins than in those who have borne children, and has two lips, which grow thicker and fuller towards the pubis, and meeting on the middle of the os pubis, form that rising hill which is called the mons veneris, or the hill of Venus. Next come the nymphae and the clitoris, the former of which is a membraney and moist substance, spongy, soft, and partly fleshy, of a red colour, and the shape of two wings, which are joined at an acute angle at their base, producing a fleshy substance there which covers the clitoris, and sometimes they extend so far that an incision is required to make room for a man's instrument of generation. The clitoris is a substance in the upper part of the division where the two wings meet, and the seat of venereal pleasure, being like a man's penis in situation, substance, composition, and power of erection, growing sometimes to the length of 2 inches out of the body, but that never happens except through extreme lustfulness, or some extraordinary accident. This clitoris consists of 2 spongy and skinny bodies, containing a distinct original from the os pubis, its tip being covered with a tender skin, having a hole or passage like a man's yard or penis, although not quite through, in which alone, and in its size, it differs from it. The next things are the fleshy knobs of the great neck of the womb, and these knobs are behind the wings, and are 4 in number, resembling myrtle berries, and being placed quadrangularly one against the other, and here the orifice of the bladder is inserted, which opens into the fissures to evacuate the urine, and one of these knobs is placed before it, and closes up the passage in order to secure it from cold, or any such like inconvenience. The lips of the womb, which appear next, disclose its neck if they are separated, and 2 things may be observed in them, which are the neck itself and the hymen, or more properly the claustrum virginale, of which I have spoken before. By the neck of the womb we must understand the channel that lies between the above-mentioned knobs and the inner bone of the womb, which receives the penis like a sheath, and, so that it may be more easily dilated by the pleasure of procreation, the substance is sinewy and a little spongy. There are several folds or pleats in this cavity, made by tunicles, which are wrinkled like a full-blown rose. In virgins they appear plainly, but in women who are used to copulation they disappear, so that the inner side of the neck of the womb appears smooth. But in old women it is more hard and gristly. But though this channel is sometimes crooked and sinks down, yet at the times of copulation, labour, or of the monthly flow, it is erected or distended, which overtension occasions the pain in childbirth. The hymen, or claustrum virginale, is that which closes the neck of the womb, and is broken by the first act of copulation, its use being rather to check the undue menstrual flow in virgins, rather than to serve any other purpose, and usually when it is broken, either by copulation or by any other means, a small quantity of blood flows from it, attended with some little pain. From this some observe that between the folds of the two tunicles which constitute the neck of the womb, there are many veins and arteries running along, and arising from the vessels on both sides of the thighs, and so passing into the neck of the womb, being very large. And the reason for this is that the neck of the bladder requires to be filled with great vigour, so as to be dilated, in order that it might lay hold of the penis better, for great heat is required in such motions, and that becomes more intense by the act of friction, and consumes a considerable amount of moisture, for supplying which large vessels are absolutely necessary. Another cause of the largeness of the vessels is that menses make their way through them, which often occasions pregnant women to continue menstruating, for though the womb be shut up, yet the passages in the neck of the womb through which these vessels pass are open. In this case we may further observe that as soon as the pudenda are penetrated, there appear two little pits or holes which contain a secretion, which is expelled during copulation, and gives the woman great pleasure. End of chapter 13.